the start of opportunities, the start to redress anything that you want to fix. I have no idea. I haven't slept. Cheers, everybody. I'm Russ Kane. This is The Daily Show, exclusive to Men's Radio Station. Time now to go international, ladies and gentlemen. Not New Orleans. Nah. Not New York. No. Not New Quebec. No. I'm talking about New Malden.
It's happening. It's happening in New Malden.
Why are you got like Lucille Ball paws all over your...
I don't know. I look super fuzzy. Is that better? Hold on.
Well, you look like some sort of...
How's that? Is that better?
Well, you look... Yeah, that's a bit better. Was that because you were smoking all over it? Was that it?
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't that. I know you like to use the phrase "what's left of Russ Kane." This is what's left of Neil Long.
What's the matter? Tell your Russie, tell your Uncle Russ what's going on.
It's just at Christmas. I promised my daughter a hot tub party, right? So she comes round with 5 of her mates.
And all you did was you got some fairy liquid, filled up the sink, and then there you go, baby.
No, not at all. And they're sitting out. So they're not in the hot tub yet, and they're sitting and they're talking, and they're saying we're going to have a nice, just a little glass of fizz, a little bit of music, a little bite to eat.
And she's only 7 years old. This is a little
life,
worrying.
the universe, and everything. No, she's 28. Just point that out.
Right.
Chill and have a nice time. And finish about 11:30.
Okay.
2:30 the following morning. Utter debauchery.
I like it. I like the sound of her straight away.
It was completely legal, but absolutely epic, I have to say.
When you say completely legal, how many classes? No, it doesn't matter.
How many what?
I was going to do a gag, but even for me, right? That would have been. Hey, what time did Michael Barrymore turn up?
That's a terrible thing to say.
It is a terrible thing to say.
That is a terrible thing to say.
That is a shocking thing to say. But I couldn't get away from hot tubs, swimming pools, and not mentioning. I had to go there. So what you're saying to me, boom,
just going to swipe the screen.
Chicka boom. What you're saying to me is, it so happens I was a huge Michael Barrymore fan. I thought he was touched with genius.
So was I.
I thought he was touched with, when he was on form, I thought he was one of the funniest people I've ever seen in my life.
I remember, I was talking about this in one of the previous shows. I went to a recording of his.
Oh, God, did you?
Yeah, and in between, because it's all very start, stop, as you know.
The most boring bloody thing. If anyone says to you, before Neil goes on with his rather good anecdote, if anyone says, hey, come to a recording of, don't. It is the dullest thing on earth.
Yeah, start.
Awful.
Retake, do it again. But in between, he did tell a joke which had the audience screaming. I'm not sure if I can tell it on here, but it was very funny.
Oh, you were going to say it on Friday. I don't know.
It's kind of 12A rated. It's
Well, we're all over 21. We're all over 21. You
sure?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Quite sure.
What's the worst going to happen? I fire myself.
Well, it's kind of 12A going on 15 rated. Okay. How do you make your wife moan after she's had an orgasm? He said.
Wipe something on the curtains.
Wipe your willy on the curtains. No, he did that, and the place just dissolved. I mean, it was just hysterical. He was fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Linda Dave, hi guys, just listening to you whilst we're doing our gut. Well, of course, Phil the gardener has got. He won't care. He won't care. It could look like the Amazonian jungle now that he's moved out. You're on your own, Linda. Liz Saul, your pal, says this.
I performed on stage at Michael Barrymore's My Kind of People at the Lakeside Shopping Centre, pure class, in front of 1,000 people.
Yeah. And Emma Webb, great joke, Neil. I'll tell you why Michael Barrymore interests me. Joke. Then we're going to bring on Dan Scarf in a minute. I can see you in the digital green room. Don't worry, Dan. See you there. Just be patient. Have some more. Neil made some beautiful homemade pastries in the digital green room. Help yourself.
Yes,
please.
I hope you like them.
Help yourself, Dan. Oh, here we go. Chrissy Richards. Hi, both. We haven't heard from you, Chrissy, and I'm glad you are back. Hope you're doing okay after your absolute tragedy. We send all our very best wishes, Neil, myself, all the team at Men's Radio Station and Women's Radio Station. Hi, both. It's cooled down a little. 28 instead of 40. No, she doesn't live in Croydon. She's in Spain. And Emma Webb loved your joke. Great joke, Neil.
Well, it wasn't my joke, Emma.
It's a lovely gag. The reason why Michael Barrymore fascinates me, and it applies to anybody in the business that we call show. If you don't get a grip on who you are and who you want to be, who you really are, the real you, and you become very famous and you become adored like Michael Barrymore was, you will need to feed off that adoration, and you will need to feed off that laughter and love from complete strangers. Remember that. You don't know them. They think they know you, right, Neil? They think they know you.
Oh, yeah.
And if you don't say to yourself, this is a job, and when I've finished, I become the real me and I can deal with it, and I go back to my family who actually love me and know me for warts and all. So what happened with Michael Barrymore, and he's been very honest about this, I'm not telling tales out of school, he'd, do a killer of a show. Audience would adore it. Huge ovations, standing, cheering, everything's like that. Then he'd go to the bar of the venue, be surrounded by people. And of course, some people can't switch off. Anyone who's met me, I'm very different. I'm completely different. When I'm off, I'm off. I'm not this person, deliberately so. Because that's the only way to keep sane. I've been doing this a very long time. But Michael Barrymore would be playing to the crowd. It's great. And then they all go home to their wives and husbands and whatever. And he's in a hotel in the middle of God knows where. Doesn't know anybody. And you suddenly, he couldn't face the fact that it's like falling off a cliff. You know what I mean, Neil? You've got all that, and then suddenly you're in a room.
I do. I think you just need to be really, really kind of grounded, and so it's needing that validation from the outside. Yeah. And if you don't get it, and then you feel you're not enough, that's when the problems start.
I couldn't bear it. And of course, then he started to take drugs to give him that high of the adoration. And then, of course, he couldn't sleep. Naturally, it's quite impossible. So you would take medication, understandably, to calm you down, to get to sleep. And then you get into this horrible roller coaster. And it's very, very, very difficult to... I had dinner with his late wife, Cheryl.
Okay.
And, she was portrayed as this kind of Lady Macbeth. And it was a very small dinner. I think it was only 6 of us. I don't know how. I didn't know her. She turned up. And she was absolutely charming. Died of cancer young. But charming, don't believe the media. The media's just pants. You want to know anything, ask Neil, Right, let's bring on our first guest of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up. I never know what that means. Give it up. Like what? Your pension, your toast. Dan Scarf. Hello, Dan.
Good afternoon.
I guess it is afternoon. Good afternoon to you. How are you?
I'm very well. It's good morning for me because I'm in Toronto. Or Toronto.
Oh my God, you're in Toronto.
I've just got back from Canada.
7 o'clock in the morning, and I'm not a morning person, but I shall do my very best to entertain you.
Well, thank you very much. I love Canada. I've just come back from Canada.
Wonderful. We just moved here 2 years ago. Absolutely love it.
It's a great country, isn't it?
Oh, now before we get on to why you're here, what made you move to Toronto?
It was actually my previous business. Nothing particularly exciting. I got moved out here for work.
Oh, you could have made anything up. Dan, you don't know how this works.
I'm too honest. That's the problem.
You've got to understand, you're dealing with Neil and I. We're idiots. You could have said anything. Like I came out to manage the Red Bull Formula One team.
Let's go with that.
That's great.
Let's go with that.
Right. So Dan Scarf, manager of the Red Bull Formula One team and a personal friend. Oh God! All right. So thank you for joining us, and I love the symmetrical arrangement of 2 pillars behind you, you right in the middle. I mean, that is class straight away. Tell us about yourself and why you is here.
So my name is Dan Scarf, along with being the manager of the Red Bull racing team as of this afternoon.
See how easy it is?
It's good, isn't it?
It's a double, isn't it?
I am the founder and CEO of a brand new startup called X-Ray Glass, which has just unveiled itself a couple of weeks ago. So really excited to come on the show to tell you a little bit more about it and why we've done it.
Andy Ray, hang on a minute. Hang on. You're in Toronto, right? This is the
Correct.
First time we've ever had anybody from Morocco. Andy Raven, how fantastic. Russ, hearing you loud and clear from Morocco. Fantabuloso. Right, X-Ray Glass. Did I hear that right?
I'm intrigued.
Who wouldn't want a set of X-ray glasses? I mean,
I would.
Is it literally like X-ray glasses? Like
it is
we dreamed
literally
about when
like
we were
a
kids?
set of X-ray glasses.
I'm loving this.
They're not actually X-ray, but I mean these are the glasses, so they kind of look a bit cool.
What happened to Dan's scarf? Who's this man of mystery?
So these are the.
So what are they?
My headphones were falling off. So these are actually a set of glasses manufactured by an organisation called Nreal, who are a startup themselves. So they have created these amazing augmented reality glasses, which connect to an Android phone of your choice. And effectively, we have written a piece of software which runs on these glasses, which subtitles the world.
Get the hell out of Dodge. What?
Imagine
it
the
subtitles the world.
On your TV. Imagine the subtitles on your TV, but in augmented reality in real time.
What?
So I can put on a set of these glasses. I could be having this conversation with you either remotely or in real life, and everything that you said would be effectively subtitled in real time in my field of view, right in front of you.
In the name of H.G. Wells, is this even possible?
How is this witchcraft possible?
Well, it's not. You know how I say to everything from microwave on, well, it's magic.
Yes.
And my friends go, yeah, it's just magic. And then we just leave it at that because we don't understand any of it. It's just magic.
So we have some very clever technology, obviously, that's powering all of this. But, in a very simplistic description, effectively, we are taking audio from the microphones, which are built onto those glasses. We are sending it through a special service, which takes that audio and turns it into text. It will also figure out who is talking, because one of the biggest challenges in a room with multiple people talking, even if you've got the captions, is who on earth is saying each of these different things.
Right.
So we take all of that together and then we put it into augmented reality. And augmented reality really is, one of the big up and coming things. It used to be, very niche. The headsets were thousands of pounds. There was only very specialized software, typically business software, that ran on them. But we're at the point now where these new augmented reality headsets are about to go mainstream. And, applications like ours are just the first. We're going to see a whole new range of augmented reality applications coming out.
Let me ask the question purely selfishly. I did 20 years in a very, very loud, light aircraft, and it affected my hearing. There's no ifs or buts. It's taken away some of the sharpness of my hearing because it was deafeningly loud to the point the pilot would be, less than 2 feet away. We'd have to scream into each other's ears. Do that 5 days a week for 20 years. It's going to have an effect. If I'm in a room and there's noise coming from everywhere, I've forgotten the phrase. It's just gone out of my head. Forgive me. I didn't get home till 4:30 in the morning from the studio. It's impossible for me to hear. It's dreadful. So I go very quiet. And people go, didn't you like them? And I go, no, I couldn't join in because I couldn't hear properly. With that would presumably resolve that issue if I wore these magic glasses.
It would. Now, I mean, we do have two particular issues that we have to deal with. I mean, the first one is background noise.
Yeah, so, ambient noise is the phrase I was looking for. If there's a lot of ambient noise, I am screwed.
Yep. And I mean, the glasses are affected, and the software is affected by it to a certain extent. But obviously, we can do a lot better job of filtering out background noise or ambient noise. That is actually one of the easier technical challenges that we have, but it's still a challenge. The bigger technical challenge that we have is multiple people talking at the same time, which is a technical term called crosstalk. Now, that one is a lot.
You've met my family then.
Well, yes. So, in that instance, it will do its best to keep up with all the different conversations going on, but, it is a difficult problem to solve. And part of the reason for announcing this test, which is what we announced a couple of weeks back, was to invite people onto the trial to test out this software and to give us feedback on when it's working,
I've got a fantastic guinea pig apart from me and Neil, and I'm going to suggest I'm introducing you now. I didn't even know you were watching and listening. Paul Endicott. Now, Paul Endicott has a fantastic company, so bear with me, Dan, but you'll get the point, of guided tours about rock stars and rock. So it'll be the Beatles tour of London or the Rolling Stones. It's terrific. It's really, really great. His question is this, Neil, if you'd be so kind as to read out Paul Endicott's
Interesting.
question.
Would they work for our guided sightseeing tours in London in languages other than that of the guide?
So a couple of questions in there. The first one is, will we support translation between different languages? And the answer is absolutely yes. We don't have that right now, but give us a week or three, and we will have that. We're working on that as we speak, so we will be able to natively translate from up to 12 languages, I think, into subtitles in English. So yes, or to other languages. So yes to the first part of the question. To the second part of the question, we are recommending people not use this whilst they're walking out and about at the moment, just from a health and safety perspective, because there's going to be captions coming up. And again, we're not 100% sure how that will work in the real life. And we don't want people tripping over stuff and hurting themselves.
No.
But, that's a health and safety thing rather than technical thing. Obviously, also tour guides, there might be lots of noise, but I mean, it's absolutely a valid use of this, and it'd be great to talk to Paul and see, whether there was an ability to use this technology in that use case. We'd love to.
Paul's tours, I'm not plugging his thing, but I'm just a big fan of it because I think he's just found a niche and really done it beautifully well. So he has like the Magic Mystery kind of bus van, which you'll go in. So it's very contained. So you're not walking,
okay.
It's a contained group.
Okay, in which case that could well be a great use case for it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. What made you want to do this? I'm always fascinated by how it comes about.
So it was actually my 97-year-old granddad. Would you believe? True story. So I only see him once or twice a year now because I'm in Canada, and I've witnessed him year after year. His hearing gets worse and worse and worse, to the point of this Christmas just gone, where I saw him, and he was literally in a room surrounded by his family, sat alone because he couldn't hear anything. Literally just sat there. And it was horrific to watch. And I thought, well, there must be a way that we can bring to bear technology here to help him and other people like him. And I'm not quite sure when the little epiphany moment struck me. I thought, well, hang on a second, like, he can still see perfectly. Why can't we just turn this audio into captions in real time? So that was the idea behind it originally. And, cue lots of research and lots of development and lots of burning the midnight oil and blood, sweat and tears and all the fun stuff that goes with a startup. But we have now got this.
Were you a scientist? I'm going to just say, because anything like this always freaks me out. Were you a scientist? Do you have a scientific background? Or
no? So I've always been in IT since I was young. I started programming when I was 12, I think. And then I had another business.
Stop. I love it when geniuses say, yeah, and I started programming when I was 12. And we're supposed to go, oh, yeah, fine. Who doesn't? God damn. I couldn't even switch on a VCR machine until the kids arrived.
And then I won't give you my full life story. But anyway, I set up another business 18 years ago, which we sold 2 years ago. So
what did that do?
And what was that doing?
That company was called New Signature. And we used to do enterprise IT, so moving big companies to the cloud, if you're familiar with the cloud. So we were big Microsoft partners. So we helped move people to Azure and Microsoft 365 and all those kinds of things.
You and Bill, eh?
Well, yes. I never actually got to meet the man. I did meet Steve Ballmer, but I never met Bill.
Do you know, a million years ago, I'm sorry, I've got to just tell this anecdote because it is so bizarre. I worked in America, right? And we had a thing, I think it still goes on. It was called the CES, the Consumer Electronics Show.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going back to the 70s, which you probably weren't even born. And we went off to Chicago to a place called the Pitt Congress Center. If you want to know how big it is, imagine Sussex, put a roof on the top. That's kind of how big. It's just freaking enormous, right? And we were there because we were showing at the time, I mean, this is just how we've progressed. And Dan, you will get this, how we've progressed with technology. It was a bowling game, bowling very big in America, of course. And basically you'd just roll a ball down a thing and the electronics would show the score and everyone went, ooh, this is, you think about it now, it's like looking at a cave painting from prehistoric times, right? And at the next booth, you're there for days. If you've ever done shows, you're there for days. You're bored out of your mind. There was another booth. So I would wander over and I'd yak to these guys, and they'd developed a computer, right? And it was the early days, wait for this, of Apple, right? And I'm talking, I realized subsequently it was Steve Jobs that I was talking to. It was Steve Jobs. And I said, because I was there for days, he was there for, hi, how are you? Oh, I'm great. How are you? All this sort of nonsense. And I said, so what is this? He said, oh, it's a personal computer. I went, oh, okay, what's that? He said, well, everyone's going to have one. I said, are they? And I said, and this is the thing I've never forgotten. I swear to God, this is, I said, well, what can you do with it? And you know what his answer was? This is how far they'd thought and not realize how it would change everything. He said, well, you could write your shopping lists on it. That's as far as they'd thought. And I said, mate, being English, I said, mate, I can write that on a piece of paper with a pencil. I don't need the rest.
We don't need your newfangled technology.
We don't need your nonsense technology, Mr. Jobs. Isn't that weird? Isn't
I've
that
got,
weird?
I've got to point this out to be fair to our guest. It's X-ray, X-R-A-I glasses.
Oh, for goodness sake, Russell.
It stands for Extended Reality Artificial Intelligence.
Hang on,
so there's some logic
I
as
hear
well.
X-ray glasses, and it's like those things they used to put in the Beano when I was growing up. And apparently you could see through
I'm going mental here.
what people were wearing, and it never worked.
Hang on a minute.
It was some deliberate confusion we put in there, but yeah, there is some logic behind it. Say Extended Reality Artificial Intelligence.
What does it stand for again? Say it again.
XR, so extended reality. So again, your listeners will be familiar.
Keep going.
Will be familiar with augmented reality. So extended reality is a bit like augmented reality, but just sounds a bit cooler.
I've just got
and then XR and then AI.
Okay. So what does augmented reality mean? I've heard the phrase several times. Give me a working definition of it, if you would.
So are you familiar with virtual reality, where you put on a set of goggles and you come into a
very much so, yeah. I do love my VR.
So, yes.
Right. So think of virtual reality, but you can still see the background. So, you can still see through these glasses. So it's like you can still see the real world beyond them.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah.
But
I'm just thinking of all the practical applications.
It's bloody marvelous.
I mean, for your granddad, that would improve the quality of his life and many others like him, no end. Which comes full circle with mental health and well-being, which is
deafness is the second largest disability in the world, second only to mental health, which was one of the fascinating facts that I found out as part of
Say that again.
Deafness is the second largest disability in the world, second only to mental health.
Goodness
but also the least well-funded.
That is interesting.
This is in from Martin Allen. He's playing down how much of a genius he is.
I'm really not.
The guy's just lucky. He's a chance.
We got a bunch of people here willing to post
Can you imagine doing that on the BBC and they go, he's a grifter. Just to say hello to Elizabeth Green. She's listening and watching from Turkey. Then you're in Toronto. And then we had, where are we? Then we've got Andy Raven. He's listening from Morocco, and Azadon Brown is listening from New York State. So it is a fantastic.
So what is the plan for these? I mean, how are you marketing it? Have you got, who are you in with, as it were?
So we have effectively announced the public preview of this as of 2 weeks ago. So we have working software now. It's got to the point where we think it's ready for people to start to experience it. So we are inviting members of the public from in the UK, but there are a couple of people from outside of the UK who can get hold of these glasses and have a compatible phone. We are inviting them to test this software. So your listeners can go to xrai.glass and go to our website and you can read all about us, and there's a link in there to sign up.
No, you said it needs an Android phone. Is it just Android?
It is just Android, and even worse, it is just a subset of Androids, because one of the reasons
you're talking in tongues suddenly. I have no idea what you just said. What does that mean?
So it just means not all Androids. So again, if you go to our website, you will see a list of all of the phones.
How about your good old-fashioned Samsung? He said
the Samsungs are good. So this is a Samsung S21. This is my.
I'm so in here. I am so in here, Dan. This is just great. I've upset Michael Verby because he's listening and watching from the Costa del Sol. So I apologize about that. Martin Allen says he's very happy to try it out. Now this is good for you, Dan. This is good for you. This is coming from Azadon Brown, who is very high up in the psychotherapeutic community in the United States. As I said, he's watching from northeastern states. Dan Scarf, fellow Canadian. No, Dan's probably from Bromley or something.
Not really a Canadian.
He's not Canadian. He lives in Canada. He's as much Canadian as Neil and I. You should consider reaching out to the university. Actually, Neil, do me a huge favor. Could you read this out? I've been talking since 2 this morning. Would you mind?
Dan Scott, fellow Canadian, you should consider reaching out, and just to make you feel at home, you should consider reaching out to the University of Waterloo and University of Montreal. They're the only 2 schools in optometry in Canada. I know they're constantly looking for new and inventive ideas in ophthalmics. There you go.
These are Don Brown. When you're getting your backside over to London so we can meet personally, because I think that's marvelous. There you go. There's a clue for you. What do you think? Is that good?
Absolutely. Why not? Brilliant.
There
Love
you
that.
go.
Love that.
Is it going to continue to develop and maybe use it on iPhones? Is it just a temporary thing, Android only, or?
So, as I said, the glasses are not ours. So we just write the software for the glasses. So the compatibility of the glasses and the phone is unfortunately outside of our gift.
I see. Sorry, I didn't pick up on that until then. Beg your pardon.
So,
I knew that.
So Apple are releasing a set of augmented reality glasses, allegedly, according to the interwebs, at some point next year. So iPhone
you got them now.
I said iPhone users will unfortunately have to wait for the Apple glasses to come out, and then our software will run on them.
The gag there, you missed the gag. The gag there is Apple users have to wait till next year.
Yeah.
That's the gag.
Can't comment.
It's really hardcore. It's really hardcore. But that's what happens when you get home from the studio at 4:30 in the morning and can't sleep. You end up like this.
But if you want them now, then unfortunately, yes, you have to just borrow or obtain a compatible Android phone. The glasses themselves are available from our friends at EE. So if you go onto the EE website, you can order the glasses. They're called N-Real Air glasses. Mm-hmm. And then put them into a compatible phone, sign up for our preview, get hold of the software, and you can try it out.
I'm going to cut through the middleman. Yeah. Hi, Kevin. Kevin Bacon, please. Hi, Kevin. It's Russ. Yeah. EE. Send me the glasses, mate. There we are. Job done.
Job done.
That's what happens. That's showbiz for you, baby. So go through all that again, because I was just thinking, could you send Neil and I a pair of glasses and we'll trial them for you? Because it'd be bloody handy for me.
Yeah, well,
I'm going to tell you something. Let me be absolutely deadly serious. It is very embarrassing. I'm just being really open here. That when I'm in let's say it's a restaurant or it's a function, and they go, "Oh, hi, Russ," and people want to chit chat and everything, and you want to be polite, and it's that ambient noise. I can't hear what the hell's going on, so it's easier for me just to, tune out and think how long before I can go home, and watch Cash in the Attic or whatever it is. It's much easier. And I don't want people to think I'm rude or standoffish. It's just that I can't hear that. Especially if it's a noisy restaurant, and some of the acoustics, the noise is bouncing all over the place. You feel like an idiot. I'll be really honest. I feel really stupid and disadvantaged. I really do. So something like this would be a freaking gift. The rest of the time, I don't have any problem. The rest of the time's absolutely fine. It's just in those situations. And I know I'm not alone. As people get older, a lot of people...
I do it. I mean, I go to events all the time and, loud ambient noise and trying to talk to people. And, sometimes you'll have a conversation with them and you're kind of pretending like you're kind of just about hearing them. You're like, oh, yeah.
Isn't it awful?
And then one day or one point you'll get caught. And the person will say, so what was the answer to the question I just asked you then? And then you have to fess up that you didn't actually hear what they said.
I usually end up buying a timeshare in Portugal when I keep saying yes.
So there's all kinds of uses for this, outside of the deaf. You look at hospitality, the servers, same kind of problem. You need to listen to what people are saying, keep a track of all of this. You look at education, the ability to have people be able to wear these glasses in an educational setting. We've only just started to scratch the surface of what would be possible. Again,
that's what I'm thinking. The possibilities are endless, aren't they?
Especially, I usually put up, I wear a pair of Bluetooth headphones because I don't like to disturb neighbors, and I have my TV on, and especially with some shows I have the subtitles up because they mumble. A lot of American actors just mumble, and a lot of people say that. You get a lot more out of it when you're reading what they're saying as well as hearing what they're saying, because you're going through the script effectively. So you really adhere to every scene. I think it adds to it a lot. So for education, if you were seeing, let's just say, what the lecturer was saying, as well as hearing it, I think it would penetrate more into your consciousness, and you'd come away learning more. That's just me.
And of course, you have the transcript as well. So you can refer back at any point to all these conversations you had, these lectures that you were in.
What? You never mentioned that.
Oh, yes. So it's recording all of this. And again, oh, yes. And again, our big differentiation is the fact that all of these transcripts are stored on your phone. Because one of the biggest challenges with this data, of course, is that, it's quite sensitive information, like who you were talking to, what you said, so on and so forth, not the kind of stuff you would want stored on a cloud service, for instance. So we have designed this from the ground up to store all data on your phone.
How much room is that going to take?
Nothing. I mean, it's text.
Because you know what I love about it? You have a meeting and then you go, well, we'll do it. No, I never said that. And I go, yeah, of course you did. I make copious notes. People know I go with a big notebook and my pen, and I make copious notes, and they cannot then say, I never said that.
And again, imagine we can then put a personal assistant over the top of all of these transcriptions that you could ask it questions like,
what?
Who did I meet? What did I say?
Where was I?
This is getting really clever.
It's
clever already. This is
sensational. So you're saying we could have a meet. So Neil and I could go out and have a meeting with somebody, and we'd have the transcript of that meeting on our phones.
Correct. Well, whoever was wearing the glasses, it would go onto their phone, yes.
Absolutely genius. Oh my God, that's good.
We hope so.
That is so good.
And again, it's early, just to temper everyone's excitement here. This technology is brand new. We've got a ways to go yet, but it's so exciting. This idea of conversational apps. So, an app that's always with you, that you can talk to, interact with at any point. We think that could be the next category of application. So, you had web pages, you had phones, and now we're going to have voice-activated augmented reality apps.
Jesus. Dan, when you're wearing the glasses, does it scroll across like a movie, or is it right in your face? Or how do you see the text?
The text appears about a meter in front of you, so it's not actually on the glasses. It's like a real thing as far as you're concerned. It's like there's an actual subtitle that somebody is holding in front of you. And there is a delay of, it depends what the person is saying, but between, let's say, half a second and 1.5 seconds, something like that. But in the right conditions, it's almost instant. There's just the ever so slightest delay. Again, if you're dealing with or talking to somebody that is deaf, you just give them a little bit more time, and you just know that there might be a half a second's delay before they're reading what it is that you're saying. But that's still an awful lot better than them not being able to hear it at all.
It's a whole new lease of life for some people.
It's fantastic. Really, this is just amazing.
Thank you.
Very
just amazing. How long's the post from Toronto to South London? I'm just putting it out there.
You can't actually buy these glasses in Canada right now. That's the irony. I was on the news here the other night, and I was asked by the broadcaster, so where can we get the glasses from? It's like, the UK.
Get out.
They are literally only available in the UK and Canada. The only two geographies in the world that you can buy these glasses right now.
All right, I'm going to ask the $1 million questions. What's the cost?
The glasses are £400, including VAT, which is actually, if you compare to most of the other augmented reality glasses out there, which
just
are
buy ordinary Ray-Bans and then see. That's not bad, is it? Really?
And again, the reason that they're so cost effective is because a lot of the processing is done by the phone. That's kind of the clever part of these glasses. So, there's no battery in the glass because it uses the phone's battery. There's no processor in the glass because it uses the phone's processor. That's why they're so light and so cost effective, is because it takes advantage of all this power within your phone you've already bought.
Jeez. And what are the lenses? Are they clear? Then can we have another butcher's?
Yeah. So they look like quite cloud, or they look like sunglasses from the outside, but
Well, that's
again,
good for me. I like
from
that.
the inside, I mean, there's an ever so slight sort of darkness to it, but the way that they work is, well, you can't really see, but there are cameras effectively in the top, and then there are a piece of glass here at 45 degrees. So if any of you are familiar with a heads-up display in a car, for instance, it's the same kind of technology as that. It just bounces the light straight into your eyes, which is why it needs these dark glasses. But again, these are just the very first or second generation of these glasses. There's all new glasses coming out from all new manufacturers. Some of the newer glasses, which are coming out in the next 6 to 12 months, don't have these dark lenses and the 45-degree lights. They use semi-translucent screens. So they look just like completely normal glasses, but actually you can put stuff over them. I mean, it's such a fascinating new area.
Trouble is with the dark glasses, as soon as I wore them, everyone goes, what are you doing, a Roy Orbison tribute act tonight or something? But I actually would like them, because that's why I'm wearing slightly, because I look, if you saw my eyes like this morning, I'm wearing slightly coloured reading glasses because so I can see the screen. Oh, Dan, this is just sensationally good.
Thank you.
Now then, plug the backside out of it. How do people go onto the website? Because I'm going to be deluged with people. And I'm going to go, oh,
yeah, shameless plug, please.
yes.
Please. So the website is xrai.glass. So we went with snappy as we could come up with. And if you go onto that website, you should see a lovely picture of a chap called Josh Feldman, who was one of the very first people in the world that saw this. I think you asked the question about how can you see what the output of this is from the user's knowledge. If you go onto the interwebs and just search it, there's loads of videos on there, and you'll see how the text actually appears. But
just looking at the website now, it's live subtitle, brilliant.
We like that. Our agency came up.
Whoever came up with that, that's really good.
That was Bold Space, so there we go. Give them a little plug as well.
Now, Jessica, because we are streamed out on another radio station who takes our stream. Good morning, Wimble. Still waiting. Deluxe Radio, about 70,000 people just listening. I'm going to read this out. People say, "Why do you keep reading out? We can read." No. But on Deluxe Radio, you can only see. You can only see the show, hear the show. You can't see it. So
what do you do with these glasses?
You're a genius. You are a genius, Neil.
Just saying.
I'm not that amused, Ken. XRAI.glass. That is it. XRAI.glass. Go onto that, and you will find everything you need. I think that this is just sensational. This is pure science fiction come to life. Dan, congratulations. It's genius.
Thank you so much.
Genius.
And I am but one of an incredible team that has brought this together.
Dan, let me give you the 101 on being an entrepreneur. It's all you.
It's all me. Okay.
Although this is a radio show, so it is a radio show. So if you want to give any of your team a shout out, you're very welcome.
Absolutely. So Mitchell, Jackie, Tim, Keith, Paul, Mike.
Never liked Mike, and I'm not keen on Paul.
They've all been incredible. Like, we've been going 1,000 miles an hour. They're all burnt out and grumpy, but oh my God, what have we created? Like, it's so exciting.
You've created something. You've created, Dan,
and it just shows that wonderful, innovative new things can be brought to the world. Things that have never been in the world before. You know, this is the creativity that we all possess, I suppose, and that's a big thing with mental health. Bringing something new to the world that hasn't existed before. That's
bloody marvelous. Liz Saul says, "Are you going to get a pair of glasses to try out, Russ?" The answer is yeah. I will do. I'll let the technology just settle for a little bit, like a Guinness in a glass. But I will, absolutely, because as life goes on, I think it's handy. It also means I can wear dark glasses and go, no one can take the piss. And this coming in from Asa Don Brown. Neil, if you'd be so very kind.
I'm fascinated by this ophthalmic device, says Asa Don Brown. Please reach out to me if you're seeking research or researchers in Canada or the United States. I have a number of colleagues that might be intrigued with what you're doing. There you go. Always open to a bit of networking on this show.
Love it. Thank you.
The other thing, Dan, seriously, and actually Asa Don Brown has prompted me. My best pal's brother is the leading audiologist in the United Kingdom. He's won the Best Audiologist of the Year award, I think 4 times running.
Oh, wow.
He is the business. If you want to reach out to me, I will extend an invitation, because honestly, he's the absolute bomb. He's the absolute bomb on that thing. And Liz Saul, who I like, is suddenly my PR person. You could be Dan's guinea pig. He could send you a prototype. Liz, you're a
Liz
genius.
really wants you to have glasses. She really does.
I really want these glasses. I really want to try them out. I want to try them out so I can be the...
Does it pick up words that are sung? Because it'd be like a great karaoke thing. I know that's very low end of the market. But I had to ask the question.
No, you didn't.
There's no reason it shouldn't. There's no reason it shouldn't, he says cautiously.
Of course, Dan was thinking, this has gone really well. I've got top psychotherapeutic experts from America and people all over that. Then you
have to embrace all corners of the market.
Down, Neil. You've let me down.
Comprehensive.
Oh, God. Now, Neil, Liz agrees with you. Yes, Neil. Yeah, oh, God, the pair of them. Right, Dan, we've kept you up long enough. You probably either want to go back to bed or you're going to the factory and start kicking all your colleagues. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Don't be daft.
It's been brilliant to have you on, and congratulations. What an inspiring start to the
week.
What
a fabulous thing this is. I honestly can't get over it. Oh, hang on. Here we got another one coming in from somebody called Ken Evans. No idea who he is. Open the glasses to entertainment. Wood through volume. Ken, when you learn to speak English, you're going to be fantastic to work with. Open the glasses to entertainment. Ken, what's he saying?
I think he's saying that
he's my producer. He's in the room. You can ask him yourself. Right, what are you saying,
Ken,
man?
come here, you fool. What?
Right. Sorry, my spell checker's killing everything. Through volume and through entertainment, obviously, it would reduce the cost or keep the manufacturing costs down, so making it wider to more people. So for the elderly, it could be fantastic using them within a care home setting for numerous things. And obviously, because you can have a virtual assistant or using AR, a physical assistant, that could be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, again, the glasses are not ours, so we don't have control of the cost of the glasses. But, this technology is brand new. These are just generation 1 devices. The innovation that we're going to see specifically in the augmented reality space over the next 6 to, let's say, 18 months, will make these things look like, prehistoric by 18 months' time. There's going to be so much innovation that's done. And that will all be about making it accessible to more people. We're even going to get to a point, again, this is probably 3 or 4 years out, where these things are contact lenses. You won't even have to wear glasses. It's just all of this information is going to be projected into the real world in real time. The actual metaverse, not the pretend metaverse of stupid video games, like an actual metaverse.
Of course, the cost has already drastically reduced because from things like Google Glass and such like several $1,000s that do something similar, not the same. You're talking about hundreds.
This is it. Yep.
So it is
heading in the right direction.
It's brilliant. Martin Allen's saying, just checked out the website. Can't wait to try it. Thank you. Listen, fella, you've made a lot of friends here today.
And some good contacts too. We wish you all the very best with it.
Thank you so much for having
brilliant
me.
Stuff. Yes, and I went to Toronto once. I won't keep you. I will tell Neil the story in a sec. Dan, bless you. Thanks for coming on the show. Really thoroughly enjoyed it. Bye-bye. Wowza, wowza, wowza. What a fellow is that? So here's my Toronto story, which I tell against myself. I was working in America and I had to go up to Toronto, as they pronounce it, Toronto, and get rid of one ad agency and hire another ad agency. So I went up and they said, let's have dinner. And I went, okay. Yeah. And we had dinner at the top of is it the CNN tower or the something tower? There's a great big there's a great big tower there. So I go up, and in those days I would drink quite to enjoy myself. And I was a young rooster-dooster, never been to Canada before. And I get up from the table and I go to the loo and I come back into the restaurant and I can't find any of my companions. They've all gone. And I'm just thinking, oh my God, I'm in an Alfred Hitchcock film. Christ, have I dreamt that? And I can't see them. I hadn't realized that the thing, and I was so pissed, the thing was revolving. It was revolving. So, of course, I could see it because they were in a completely different part of the restaurant.
Which could be a bit discombobulating if you'd had a couple of beers. You might just think you're going a bit crazy.
what was I, 20 something or other. It was hilarious. And then, of course, not being the brightest spark, I was pretty hammered. It was advertising days, you can imagine, and put my briefcase down in the days when I had briefcase. Looked down, it had gone like magic. Of course, it had, because the tables were evolving, but where the rate, where everyone was serving and everything, that remains that. That's my Toronto story. That's all I can remember about Toronto.
Very good. Oh, that's fantastic.
Wasn't that guest fabulous?
Well, it just shows. I mean, talking about mental health, though, it just shows. We've talked about creativity on the show before, and defining creativity is literally bringing something to the world that's never existed before, and in doing so, creating opportunity, solutions, possibly even new leases of life for certain people. And I think that's just incredibly inspiring, isn't it?
It is inspiring.
What else is possible, we wonder?
It's an amazing thing. This is the stuff really of science fiction. When if you'd have said this a few years ago, and you're going to listen to a conversation, what everyone's saying is going to go straight onto your phone, and you're going to see it, and you go, yeah, right.
I know.
Yeah, right. And I can walk through a wall, and I can fly. Well,
that's next week.
That's probably next week. But these things are fantastic. I tried on, now it was mentioned in the conversation, I tried on the Facebook glasses, which looked like a pair of Ray-Bans, basically like the old classic Ray-Ban Wayfarer. It's got a camera in it, so you can just turn and you're taking photos, which is quite handy. And also it's got the speakers in what do they call them? The arms. This bit, they call them the arms, don't they, have the glasses? So the speakers are in there. You just put these on, you can listen to everything, and it's all Bluetooth. Expensive. I think they were about 200 plus. Not that my son offered me a discount, but there we go.
Well, if we're talking gadgets, I have a new gadget I'd like to show you, if I may.
Oh, all right.
Well, okay, my friend and colleague has a new gadget.
Oh,
okay.
Sorry, as you like to say, what the hell? What the hell?
Okay. So there we go. So what do you think these are?
I think it's something very rude. Oh, I know what they're fans. Are they fans?
It's a fan. It's a neck fan, and it blows cold air upwards.
It's great, but why is the air cold? Are you not just blowing the same crappy air that we've?
The only problem is I can't hear what you're saying. So because the fan is making a noise, therefore a blend of this with the glasses would be absolutely perfect.
Great. So you'd be cool and even cooler. Does it? I've seen people wearing these. I've seen the advert. Are they any good? Or are they complete nonsense? Are they any good?
Good.
No, did they work, these little fan things?
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
That's
It's
hilarious.
just blowing cold air up.
Well, why does it feel colder than the ambient air? Because I've got fans, because it's been 800 million degrees.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
So my earlobes are now really, really cool, and it's just
the rest of you is boiling, but it's got cool earlobes.
Pardon?
I said, what? 2:30. I said, what?
In the mix.
Go, work,
I'm in the mix, keeping it large.
Making it up. Let me hear you say. Let me hear you say.
Fat Boy Long, spelled P-H-A-T.
Fat Boy Long. Speaking of which, speaking of the running mare, I had a lovely conversation with our mutual pal, Mickey Boy.
Did you?
Boy Brown. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Me and Mick are doing the running mare 28th of this month.
Okay. I haven't spoken to Mick Brown like forever. I don't know why. We correspond a lot on Facebook, but we haven't spoken. And it was nice. It was like time had stood still, and we were just yakking away about a project that I thought he would be interested in, and it turns out he is interested in. So there we go. Yeah, and it's a project you should be involved in. But you didn't phone me the other day. You forgot.
I didn't phone you the other day. No, sorry, but I was keeping up the anticipation. I can't be too easy to get. You know what I mean? I have to play a bit hard to get, keep people keen. Thin ice. Okay.
The sound you can hear is Ken smacking his head against the wall, going, "Please shut up. just shut up, please."
I joke, of course.
For the love of God, just stop it. I was doing Talk TV from 3:00 this morning, and
with Petrie,
with Petrie, the lovely Petrie Hoskin, and normally it's so funny. Even when you've got something which is a multi-billion-pound organisation, it comes down. So the producer's got a daughter who's we all become friends. And the daughter's just 18. She's very sweet, and she normally comes down to the foyer and brings me through the security and everything. Takes me, and she wasn't there, and she's texting her dad, right, while I'm there. So it's now 2:30 in the morning, but going to go on at 3, and it's like, Dad, there's a huge spider. There's a huge spider. So she's stuck. She won't walk past. She won't walk past the spider. So part of the show with this multi-billion-pound setup from Rupert Murdoch and Rebecca Brooke is, okay, now, Louise, just walk past the spider. You're going to be okay. And then they're putting on the TV photos of the spider that she's seeing, because they can take stuff from Facebook or Twitter.
Oh, that is absolutely priceless.
And they just bang it up on. So it's this huge multi-billion-pound organization in this gigantic building next to. It's the
brought
second
to a
biggest
resounding halt by a spider.
by a spider. And everyone's like, no, just walk. Look, you'll be okay. It's not going to do anything. Just go up to bed. Don't wait until Dad gets home at 7 o'clock in the morning. So just life never fails to make. Now, Project Fear. Project Fear. I got told off, kind of told off, by one person. Everybody else agreed. The Daily Mail, not known to ever exaggerate, and the Daily Mail was going, brace, and what was here was the headline: brace for thunderstorms, brace for thunderstorms. And I wrote, can you just FRO? I'm not going to pronounce not what that is. I think everybody knows what that stands for. Stop keeping Project Fear going. It's a thunderstorm. We're not 5 years old. It's just weather. Stop it.
And not only do we have to brace ourselves, but the torrential rain after it's killed us won't solve the water crisis either.
Wrong type of rain, mate.
Yeah.
The wrong type of rain.
We're talking from a mental health point of view.
Yes,
I don't
precisely.
think scare stories in the tabloids or the media, which people do take very seriously.
Yes, they do.
And it could even create more of it in the world, if you know what I mean. Because if we're talking mental health and creativity, look at our guest. He wasn't focused on all the problems in the world when he created that brilliant thing for the world. He wasn't focused on what he didn't want. This is so key for psychological health. He was focused on what he did. But the media, when people get caught up in that fear, their focus is entirely on what they don't want. And if we get more of what we focus on, you could argue it's not a terribly responsible.
It's a disgusting thing. They should be held to account. Let me just do this Fraser Dawn Brown in New York State. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do.
What are you doing?
I'm doing the bass line from John Entwistle from Boris the Spider from the album The Who Sell Out.
Of course you
Paul
are.
Andrews. Oh, this is classic.
And no one.
I want Ken to read this.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry. I want Ken to read this. Come on, Ken. I'm bigging up your role here, fella. Come on, read this. In your own time, Ken. Show finishes at 1.
No one did a joke about hot air coming from Neil's mouth while blowing cold back in.
Fantastic. Beautifully.
Yeah,
I wish I really
you'll
wish I
think
hadn't
you're
bothered.
funny,
That's just hilarious there. And then back to Aza goes this. Neil, if you'd be so kind.
Russ Kane, I know the restaurant which you speak of. CN Tower is a great restaurant in the heart of Toronto.
Yeah,
it just moves a bit. That's all.
I honestly thought I was completely going mad. Right. Luke Newman.
Good afternoon, gents. Just checking in. Currently very busy with Mind, NHS and mental health team, and for Men to Talk. Wants to pop in and say hello.
Always
doing a
welcome,
charity
Luke.
event for Mind, actually, fairly soon, September. Looking forward to being involved. I'm not doing it entirely myself. I'm contributing to it. So looking forward to that. They save lives, Mind. They're very good.
Of course they do, but they're going to say something. You won't like this.
Try me.
No, I'm being serious, and people might say, "Oh, Russ, you're being bitter," but I'm actually not. When Howard Jameson and I set this up a few years back, we thought that the major mental health charities would want to get on board, would want to support us. I'm not talking about putting in tons of money. I mean, just support us. Yeah, you'd think so. They've got a dedicated radio, TV station, if you like, whatever you call this hybrid, just to mental health and well-being. And you would have thought that the Samaritans and Mind and all the others would say, hey, this is great. And we reached out and Howard has been relentless. I've been relentless. Nothing.
Why?
Not in my backyard. I didn't create it, so we don't care. I find it very sad. So
it is strange.
We just carry on. I don't care. We just carry on.
But it would have a corporate mindset, and sometimes they can be very hard to approach, even though it's their raison d'etre, isn't it?
Yeah, we're not asking them for money. We're like asking them to spread the word. That costs zero. No. Absolutely soddle. Brilliant, Russ. I've been up that tower too. Not an euphemism, by the way. The TV tower in Lithuania is the same. Lovely food too. And let's dash across to Mill Hill in northwest London. Francine Warner with her endless emoji. I have no idea what they mean. There's a kiss. There's a.
She says, "Mwah." I'm guessing that's food and love.
Oh, bless. She's great.
So, is it love of food? Mwah.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what Fran's done there. But it's whatever it is. Thanks, Fran.
Use words, Francine. I understand that a lot better.
She's always emojis, and I just go kiss. I just go kiss because I have never an idea. I don't know what it means. I don't know. So that was that. Anyway, so Project Fair. Back to that. I got quite. I wasn't cross, but I just said, look, stop it. You know, we had the COVID. Then we've got the nightmare in the Ukraine, which seems to be rumbling on. No one cares anymore, which is awful. And and then you got Putin, you got everything else. Stop it! It's been an unmitigating barrage to break us down. They want to break us down.
It keeps everyone in bit of science speak in fight or flight mode, where you're constantly on the lookout for danger,
Yeah.
And we were meant to be in that for very short periods of time. It exists for a reason. And it's literally for extreme situations, really rare, where you either have to run like hell or fight. Okay. Modern day version, mugger jumps out at you. You got a split second decision to make. That system in the body was not meant to be used for everyday things, getting the kids ready for school, unpaid bill, boss chews you out. And it just keeps us in that constant high cortisol state.
Exhausting. It's exhausting.
Number one, it leads to burnout, and number two, cortisol. It's an insulin storing hormone, and apparently you can get fatter as well because you can't burn fat when you're in that mode as well. So stress is very bad for you in many ways. So I think beaming it into our front rooms. One bad news story, then another bad news one going on yellow along the bottom. It just makes it seem like the world is about to end at any moment, and I think people forget.
And it's not.
There is a vast. There are vastly outweighed amount of good in the world than there is to bad. It's just a question of focus. But everyone tries to capture our focus and say, look at this shitty thing over there.
Yeah,
when you finish that, look at this shitty thing.
Better worry about that.
It
Tell me something. Tell me something. I just wrote that, and most people said, yeah, we're fed up with it. And then somebody who I don't know just absolutely chewed me out on Facebook.
On what basis? On what justification?
You don't understand. You're just London, and all you think. I never mentioned the word London. I just wrote back and said.
Then clearly they're not from London, and they obviously think the streets are paved with gold, and everyone has a perfect life in London.
A very odd thing
and these poor people out of London have nothing.
It was just
and can only eat the crumbs that the London people throw, which is bullshit.
It's just it was such an old-fashioned peculiar. I never mentioned London, or it was a thing. Just stop spreading fear the whole damn time. It's exhausting. We're sick. And what happens when this is the boy who cried wolf. What happens when you've actually got something which you got to be frightened of? And everyone's going to go, everyone's going to just go, shut up.
No, it happened with COVID. I didn't take COVID seriously. There was avian flu, then there was this flu, and then swine flu, another flu. And I thought, just it's going to blow over within a week. Whoa, how wrong I was. And how wrong the country was. And we shut down too late. So that's the problem with
the
crime.
only person who took COVID seriously and who saw the side effects, Phil Dave. When we had the studio, before we closed it because of COVID, it was the best thing we ever did. Phil said, I tell you what's going to be worse than the effects of COVID is the mental health. And I looked at him, and we kind of we debated it, sometimes Phil for years, debated it in the studio. I thought, you're completely wrong. He was absolutely right. I was wrong. I was totally wrong. And he was absolutely right. I think the mental side effects of COVID, what they've only done and done to shut us down is a disgrace. Anyway, there we're practically at. Could you do me a huge favor between now and Wednesday?
Yes, what do you need?
Could you water that plant behind you? Because it to me, it's like screaming out, please give me some water.
Fine.
I'm dying here. Is that what it's meant to look like?
It's a desert plant.
Oh, well, lucky for you.
It's fine. The leaves are very tender and moist.
I think, oh, okay, I take it back. Because looking at the cameras here, it just looks bloody sad. It's sort of like, Neil, please, a little water, please, just once a week. Neil, it's been a cracking show. I've really loved it. That guy was
Yes, indeed. So, key takeaway: focus on what you do want, not what you don't. No matter what the media say. There's your takeaway from the show today, folks.
Well, where did you come? Sometimes he's too clever. He's going to have to go. Neil, take care. See you Wednesday. Goodbye to your producer, Ken. And take care and try and stay out of trouble, everybody.